Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to share with you a really fun find that I found at the grocery, or not at the grocery store, at the thrift store the other day. Sometimes I like to go to the thrift store and search for vintage cookbooks. They're some of my favorite cookbooks to score. And while I'm there, sometimes I actually find something like this. And what this is someone's collection of their favorite recipe books. Now, these came from California. There's even like a address here from Newhall Street in Santa Clara, California. You can kind of gather some information about the owner of these vintage cookbooks in this little collection here. I find these to be some of the most interesting finds at the thrift store because it not only shares recipes, but it actually shares like a little bit of history, kind of a peek inside of a homemaker's recipe collection that probably she used very regularly. I kind of peeked through this, but I haven't actually fully unboxed this, so I wanted to share a video of the unboxing of this vintage cookbook haul. Okay, so let's dive in here. This is just a Ziploc bag that this homemaker kept her recipes in. And let's see. I kind of peeked through earlier, and some of these recipes actually come from like the 1930s, 40s, 50s, and even a little later, I think. Okay, so this first little pamphlet here is called Magic Salad Recipes, Delightful and Nutritious. This appears to have been the handout for a salad chopper. So this is a salad cutter, and it kind of gives you some instructions on how to use the salad cutter. Look at how homemakers had to use like something so kind of archaic like that. Now we have food processors to do this kind of chopping for us, but this was actually like a manual salad chopper that came with a variety of these salad cones here for grating, chipping, waffling, ribbon slicing, shredding. I imagine this was probably a very useful tool, especially for someone who didn't want to do a lot of manual chopping with a knife or a grater. Okay, so it kind of gives some ideas here. I love these vintage pictures. I think this looks like it's something from probably the 50s or 60s. Look at these beautiful color photos of vegetables and fruits. Okay, and then let's see, so it's got some summer salads, some appetizers. I'm actually going to probably look through this more in detail later and probably get some ideas for some delicious salads. And there we go. Let's see, does it have, it's printed on lithochrome press in Los Angeles. Okay, so this must have been one of her favorite salad recipe booklets because, or maybe she used that for remembering how and getting inspired to use that salad cutter. Now, one thing I found in here was just this single recipe from the My Great Recipes collection, and this, I'm guessing, was probably one of their family's favorite chicken recipes. This is a crisp crusted baked chicken. You can screenshot that if you want to save that recipe there. But look at that. I showed my husband and he was like, "Oh, make that for me, please." Okay, I love these. These beautiful photos that were on the covers of a lot of these pamphlets back in the 1950s are just so fun. I love looking at the hairstyles, the aprons, the clothings. I love seeing the children's faces. And I also really love looking at their cooking equipment and how like a typical homemaker would prepare meals for her family. So this is actually, I looked at the back, and this is a Crisco pamphlet for recipes using Crisco, which is a shortening. Now, I don't use Crisco in my kitchen, but I do use like coconut oil, and you can kind of substitute coconut oil for Crisco. Crisco's a little firmer, but coconut oil has a lot of the similar fat content. So I'm probably going to look through this and get some inspiration, but this was actually from 1948 from Procter & Gamble Company. So, and I love how these were created by the home economics departments of different companies back then we used to share home economics, and I wish we would bring it more back. When I was in school, we did have home economics classes, but I've noticed like in recent years, they don't really even have a home economics department anymore. It's actually called the Consumer Sciences Department, something like that. And I really just wish we could go back to home economics. Okay, so here's some ideas. This was in the 1940s, what homemakers used to prepare meals for their family. They did a lot of deep frying, I think, back then, probably. They were probably really into a lot of foods that were decadent after World War II. I'm guessing a lot of people just wanted to come home and eat. Okay, but they have a lot of, look, fried chicken, donuts, biscuits. Look at these photos. I'm surprised that they're actually in color. But okay, here's another reason why I love flipping through collections like this, because this homemaker actually took a paper clip here and clipped in some of her other favorite recipes. You could tell they're favorites because why would you actually bother even saving something like this, you know, and putting it in here if it wasn't something that you either wanted to use or used often. So I haven't even done this yet, but let's look through here. This is a tasty beef pie recipe from Crisco. These, I love these handwritten recipes. Okay, look at this beautiful handwriting here. This is for a date pudding. It's a little hard to read, but look at that. Look at this old paper. And this is for a potato salad. So these are clearly recipes that either maybe someone wrote down for her and she wanted to save in this booklet, or was something that she used often. But I really love, like, this is such a great score, finding handwritten vintage recipes. I mean, you can't buy that at the, you know, bookstore these days. Okay, let's flip through. Oh, here's another one. Latticed apple pie using Crisco. So she must have used Crisco a lot. Look at this booklet, it has so many stains. This is definitely a sign of this recipe was probably used often. I'm guessing she used the 2-crust 9-inch pie recipe a lot, because look at how many splatters are on there. Oh my gosh, look at that beautiful picture of those pies right there. Wow. Okay, even more stains. That definitely shows these were used recipes. Okay, here's more. What is this? Oh, this is, oh, so these came on the cans of Crisco. Wow, look at that. This is a label from Crisco. Looks old. I'm guessing it's probably from the 40s or 50s if it was in this booklet here. Banana cream pie. Cool. What a fun piece of history in here. Let's see what else we could find. Oh, here's more. Chocolate cake. Look at that. Fun. Magic white cake. Oh, look at that. Look at this picture of this pie. Look at that. It looks like a savory pie. What is this? Butter icing? Oh my gosh. This looks like a really old gold medal coupon. Wow, look, you could get an Oneida Community Silversmith's Queen Bess pattern plate. Oh my gosh, look at this old Betty Crocker. Wow, look at Betty Crocker. She wasn't a real person. This was just a portrait they created. But Betty Crocker says, now anyone can make successful icings with these recipes. Wow, that's old. That's an old Betty Crocker picture. I'm guessing from the 30s or 40s. Maybe this was even something that was clipped before this booklet was even created. Okay, what else do we have here? Wow, look at these. Oh, look, cocoa cupcakes. That must have been a popular one. What's this? Mayfair Markets, December 22nd. Thank you. Look at that receipt. How cool is that? Okay. Oh, here's another one. Chocolate drop cookies. Oh, it looks she even modified it. How cool. Okay, let's keep going. What else did this homemaker have in her little bundle here? And clearly, I'm guessing either someone, this person probably has passed away now, and someone either donated this to the thrift store thinking someone like me would love this, or someone just put it in the thrift store pile and it ended up there. But I love to think that whoever collected these probably saved them for someone else to use, like me. Okay, here's another one. Look at these fun. I love this red and white checker. These are super cute aprons. Look at, she's making cookies with her mommy. Recipes for good eating. And look at these little bows in her hair. That's cute. Okay, here's another one from Procter & Gamble Company. Okay, here's more clippings. This is just a random piece of paper. Here's more handwritten. 2 hard-boiled eggs chopped and salt. Add 1/2 can chopped olive, squeeze of lemon juice, and mayonnaise, about 2.5 tablespoons. Steak barbecue sauce. Wow. Look at this old paper. Here's another one, lemon sauce. Oh my gosh, look how cute. Its quality leaves you breathless. The Hollywood hit that hits the spot, a Moscow mule. Oh look, that's come back into popularity. It's an old recipe for a Moscow mule. Cool. Okay, Betty Bright paper bake cups. Betty Bright paper baking cups eliminate the greasing and cleaning of tins. Wow, fun. Recipes. Oh my gosh, look at these old, I love the fonts that they used. How cute. Look at, this is like a little vintage baking cup. American Lace Paper Company. Here's a newspaper clipping from, where is this? 4th Street. Okay, barbecue hamburgers. Okay, my husband would love that. Copyright 1949. Wow. Here's another one inside of this. Let's Eat Outdoors, a cookbook of recipes and ideas for picnics, barbecues, patio parties, and camping. This is great. My family will probably really enjoy this. I love these. Look at this beautiful art. Here's an example of products that were found at the grocery store. This is when processed food started becoming popular. These are called special helps. How fun. I'm gonna have to look more into detail on this. Oh, from Betty Crocker. See, these are Betty Crocker cake mixes. Look, that's what Betty Crocker cake mixes used to look like. This doesn't have a date, but it's got to be from the 40s or 50s probably. Easy lemon meringue pie. Look at that. That was definitely used a lot. Look at all the splatters. Oh, Betty Crocker. Oh no, Martha Meads. She looks like Betty Crocker. I don't really know of Martha Mead. Maybe she wasn't real either. Okay, look at this. This is from 1945. Wow, what a fun find. Okay. Oh, here's more clippings. Recipes from Pillsbury. This was probably when Pillsbury first came out. This looks pretty old. Ooh, I don't want to tear it. London beef bake. Fun. Okay, here's for French dressing. I love to see the history of like what people served too. Like French dressing, that was a really popular recipe. Wow, this woman really used this book a lot. Look at all of this stuck in here. Anne Pillsbury's special apple pie recipe. This looks like this was actually tore off of a box. Look at that. That's cool. Here's more new recipes. Hungry Boys Casserole. $25,000 grand prize winner in Pillsbury's 15th Bake Off by Mrs. Roman Waliko from Detroit, Michigan. Adapted by Anne Pillsbury. That's cool. Ginger snaps. Whoa, look at this. This is wax paper. I don't even know what this came from. Cheese dip. Cheddar cheese. Must have come from like the inside of a can of something. New speedy frosting with that wonderful baker's flavor. Look, we can learn so much about the evolution of food and baking by just looking at these advertisements. Casino total. This is like a casino notes. Here, Hawaiian Punch. Look at this old Hawaiian Punch. Pacific Hawaiian Products Company from Fullerton, California. Wow, how fun. Look at that art. That's beautiful. Okay, we'll keep going here. High protein menus planned by leading university authority in nutrition. Home economist of the Quaker Oats Company. That's cool. I'll have to look into that. So this is like oats. Wow. Look for more weight control menus and recipes and other packages of Quaker and Mother's Oats. Here's a coupon for a kitchen timer and electric clock. Where's the date? I like looking at the dates. Nice. Recipes for waffles. Look, this was used a lot. Important instructions for the Nelson waffle iron. Oh, that's cool. That looks old. Look at that. That's definitely some old art right there. Peanut butter cookies. Wow, this is so fun. I love exploring this together in a video because this is like really fun to just open up and see what's in here. Pie, everybody's favorite. Okay, this is definitely old. Is there a date on this? Your Home Cooking by Vivian Reed, homemaking editor. We need to bring back the homemaking editors. Oh, look at this. SOS Magic Scouring Pads. Easy way to clean aluminum. Wow, that's old. Look at those hands. Okay. Interesting. Somebody saved this because for some reason. Okay, let's keep going here. So this book was from 1945. So this was at the very end of World War II. I love to see the difference in recipes from before World War II, during, like the wartime recipes, rationing, and then after. You could definitely see like American history by just looking at cookbooks for sure. Here's a new one, Permanent Instructions for Waterless Cooking. Why would you want to do that? Permanent stainless steel cookware. Solar Permanent Company. Interesting, I've never even heard of that. But stainless steel, I like that. I don't like to cook with aluminum. Your kitchen worries ended. Okay, so this is a manual. I wish there was a date. Looks old though. Look at these. Okay. So I'm guessing this homemaker, if she was collecting these pamphlets in real time, she probably started collecting these in like the late 30s, in the 40s, and maybe 50s. So how old would she have been? If she had been married maybe when she was 20, she would have been born around the 1910. Wow, very cool. Okay, here's some notes. Oh, look at this, stainless steel. Vegetable time chart for waterless cooking. Interesting, I wonder. Wow, that's cool. It doesn't have a date. Okay, here's one of the oldest ones I peeked through and saw, the Metropolitan Cookbook. This is old. This has got to be from, I think I saw, where did I look in here? I want to say 1929. Usually you can look and find the copyright date. Metropolitan Life Insurance Company. So this was about like keeping you alive. Here's beverages, coffee, cereals. This is definitely from like the 20s because I could tell by the fonts and the recipes, how they formatted the recipes. There's not a lot of photos. And I like to see, because these are like simple recipes, they're not using a lot of cooking appliances because back then they had to do a lot of things by hand. So they wanted to formulate recipes that were easy to make by hand. Oh, look, this is definitely used a lot. I found in my books too, like a lot of my baking recipes, they'll have splatters because I need to constantly go back and look, like apple pie, meringue, double crust pie. Pies were very popular. We need to go back to pie making. Okay, doesn't say a date, but definitely this is probably from the 20s based on the art. Okay, and here's the last one, 1967. So look, this was saved. This is like 30 years of recipe pamphlet collecting in that one little Ziploc bag. Someone definitely wanted to keep their recipes together. This is the Wonderful World of Cooking and Homemaking from Italian Recipes that was sent to the occupant at 1585 Newhall Street in Santa Clara, California. Let's see who made this one. Philip Weil, Sales Up Systems. Interesting. Ruth Conrad Bateman is a professional home economist and food writer. Cool. Oh, and look, there's even coupons in here. Oh, that's fun. Save 7 cents. Would that be worth it today? Okay. How cool. This one's from the 60s. I like to see these advertisements. All right, and that's it. Thanks so much for flipping through this vintage cookbook haul. Check out my other vintage cookbook flip-throughs, and I'll see you in the next video. Hope that you like this video and subscribe to my channel for more stay-at-home mom cooking inspiration. See you in the next one. Bye.